Welcome back to the Golden Rule Magician series. I'm Steffan Soule, and this is my set list. I think many people have been wondering, what is the set list for this? Well, it's not only this, it's many other set lists that have been used for a long time. And it evolves, and you want to keep a record of those so that you can review each version. This one is dated. I date my set lists. You can see here it's dated 2019, that's 2019, 10, so that's October, right? And then 00, meaning the beginning of October. Now, if you look at the right-hand side, you'll see that fan mail, balloons, flag, Bully and the Bears, silk tube, rope escape, chair, and rings are written on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, just write down ropes, butterflies, wands. Ropes, butterflies, wands. And you'll have what I would call a good solid B-level Golden Rule Magician series set list. B-level because there's some incredible special effects that can be put into this show to make it the A list. Let me show you the A list. The A list comes from 2015, and even before that, 2011. So we'll go back to 2015. This one is one of the A lists because it was in the earlier first 3 years. I started with a Tesla coil, and then I did a small streamer effect. The Tesla took 4 or 5 minutes and involved about 6 volunteers from the audience who came up on the stage, and they hold the neon lights in the dark stage with the Tesla coil shooting sparks and electricity through the air. Then I make a big bouquet of flowers appear. Then I do a water effect, which is very involved and involves endless amounts of water streaming out of a bowl. And then the book ruler test, which is an ESP sequence. The balloons, fan mail, Golden Rule flag, Bully and the Bears, mixed emotions, which is a impossible to lift effect, a strong effect, strong light or heavy light effect, and it's pretty remarkable. The tetraflexagon, which is a do-it-yourself magic effect that everyone can learn. Then the bottles, which is multiplying bottles. Then the silk tube, rope escape, chair, and rings. So that would be considered, you know, the A list. And then there's a lot of lists in here that I think we should go over, and ways of structuring lists to account for how you're setting things up, and your gear and your reset list and all of that. So these are very important to keep and to put dates on them. Here's one from 2018, which is sort of saying that this is the original set list, but it's a little bit evolved because it started in 2013 on the stage. Anyway, here we have Tesla, flowers, lotto, just like before. Yeah, this is almost a copy of the previous one. Then it was in 2019 or 2017 that I started the butterflies and trying some of this other material. This was a special one, though. That one doesn't count. And then let's look. Oh, here's another way of showing how you put your gear left, center, and right, and then what's in the cart. And this is a 3 suitcase table version, which made it nice. And then this version here is, there's a basic version on this side, which is a 1-person show. And this is really probably the perfect 1-person show set list for the Golden Rule Magician series. Let's look carefully at this. Ropes, wands, butterflies. Cards from the air. Napkins, which is a great torn and restored effect with a throw streamer at the end, followed by the ruler books illusion, ESP illusion, where the books are held up by on a strip of paper that breaks when the kids concentrate on it. They can keep it strong, and then when they stop concentrating, it just breaks. It's pretty amazing. It's a heavy, light illusion. So that's the ruler book. Streamer, which is the attention streamer, followed by balloons, followed by fan mail, flag, Bully and the Bears, bottles, that's the multiplying bottles, silk tube, and rings. So you can put chair in there, and you can leave it off. I left it off for that one tour, and that was a really good thing to try, to leave that off. Then when I brought it back, it was even more amazing to work with. So these set lists really matter. I'm going to show you now a whole nother set list for the magic of our water, and that's here. And it's called the Planet Protectors, Environmental Magic. This set list has been worked with for way over 20 years, since 1992 actually. 2018, I renamed it Environmental Magic, but the name has finally caught on to where they're publishing that name now. Butterflies, Golden Rule flag, that was just thrown in to see if it fit. I don't think it really fit that well, but it was okay. Water vanish, and that's really great. How much water is drinkable? And what percentage of the water on the planet is drinkable? It's really only 1 drop of this can of water that vanishes. And then the aquifer, the color penetration, then the human pump, the jug, the reverse pour, lotta repeat, because I start the show with that usually, baking soda appearing and disappearing into the water, and then ice, water turning into ice, hydrophilic and convex bubbles or water configurations. Can or glass, that's where, do I pour this wastewater into a can or into a glass? The pom-poms, which is a interesting way to use the pom-poms. Slush, which is basically a water vanish. The chair, you'll recognize that from the Golden Rule show. And then this also says aluminum compost. I'm not quite sure what that says there. Paper, aluminum, compost. Probably recycling paper, aluminum, and compost. And then rings, of course, is at the end. So that's a good example. I can go back to 2014 and show this version of that same water show. The Endless Vase, Lada. The Water Vanish, the Foo Can. Aquifer, the color penetration. Human Pump, set oil can to mention used car oil. Jug, there's a jug that turns dark water and then becomes clear with a scientist from the audience. Reverse pour, Lotta repeat, Fire, that one's about using water to put out a fire. Baking soda, ice, hydrophilic, convex, can or glass, pom-pom, slush, chair, and rings. Rings are listed here, you and our water. Commitment, preserve, conserve, and why we're here today for understanding. That's the sixth ring, the ring of understanding. So I offer these set lists because they are profound. This is actually representing how we actually make a living as professional magicians. This Golden Rule show, even the B series here, which we've just gone over, the right-hand side of this is top-notch stuff. The three here on the left, ropes, butterflies, and wands, are top-notch. And those other ones are things I was working into it at that tour, that particular tour. And I can tell that from the way I write things on these set lists. And I'm glad I keep these. And I actually keep even more detailed notes about how long things take and which version I did at which time slot. Sometimes I'll vary it, so I like to keep notes. In any case, these set lists are useful, and they work really, really well to make it so that you're able to basically earn a living as a professional magician. So I want to show you a couple more things here around the room here before we switch. So we've got that set list table, and this is where the table is. So here's where we present all of the effects that we're showing on this set list. We do that right here in this room, and you can see, there's a lot of room here. So we set everything up, and we go through all of the details, and we show it to you here. This is the Golden Rule Magician series. I'm actually going to start it now. I don't really have that series set up to start and stop other than this right here. Here we go. We're here with the set list for the Golden Rule Magician series. I'm Steffan Soule. I'm your host for the Golden Rule Magician series. We're going to be going all over this set list and how to utilize set lists in order to make a living as a professional magician, especially using the Golden Rule Magician set list, because with that set list, you can actually get funding for your presentations. Funding from legitimate sources, 501c3s, and municipalities will hire you. And the primary aim of the Golden Rule Magician series is to reduce bullying, to make it so bullying disappears from schools. Even though it's a difficult, almost impossible subject to really teach fully because of all the contradictions in the world that kids find. And so we try our best to share the Golden Rule with students, and we do a very good job at it. And it actually reduces violence in the schools, reduces suicide, reduces people feeling bad about themselves, reduces all of the negativity, just to learn a positive message like this. And the magician presents it really well to the kids with images from this set list. You'll see during this session here exactly what the effects are. And through this series, you can study all of the effects in this series to really learn it. So then you'll be able to actually earn a living as a magician who's in the schools presenting assemblies that are funded by legitimate sources. Our 501c3, Attention Magic and the Golden Rule, is named after this presentation right here, which we, I'm just switching views here so you can see this. We used this presentation since 2012, wrote it in 2012, performed it for the first time in 2013, and this is now kind of a scaled down version, a one-person version, and this has a bunch of effects on the right-hand side that are all A material, really sell the concept to the kids. And we're talking, when we say kids, we're talking K through 12. Even college this show works for. You just change your attitude and your script a little and you can do these same effects because they're all powerful visual magic effects, and most of them visually demonstrate the golden rule in a little tiny bit of a way. And that visual hook really helps sell the story of the golden rule magician, and how you can be a golden rule magician. You can help the world. You can see from the slideshow that demonstrates, well, various pictures from the show, that this is for assemblies. That one's in a locker room, which is really great. It's not actually a locker room. It was a great hall, a huge building with lockers along the entire row there where I was set up. And it was cool. We had special lighting, and there were a whole bunch of probably 200 kids in that room. In the next picture there, you see that's probably 300 kids. And then you see the chair balance effect, where I'm balancing someone in midair. And when we balance someone in midair, the whole concept is that we have to find a balance between the opposing forces of yes and no, this and that, right, wrong, I want, you want, give me, you're taking, let's talk, I don't want to talk, the opposites, how to have a conversation when these opposites are going, how to find a balance. And so we talk about the balance that's almost impossible, and we put the student in that position there. You'll see that effect quite a bit in the photos, because it's one time during the presentation where I can pick up a camera and do something and put it down and go back to the presentation. There's really no other time for the magician to take photos. And then that photo serves really well if the school wants it, because it's just so good looking, of all the kids in the audience and the person from the audience floating. The Golden Rule flag is a big part of the show. That's on the set list here. I can show you where that comes in the show. It comes right here where my index finger is pointing, right flag right there. I've done balloons, fan mail, and I've done fan mail balloons. You can go either way on that. So, and then flag is the third one of the three. And the reason that flag is the third is because fan mail and balloons show the magician demonstrates mean versus being nice. And mean and nice, wrecking behavior and building behavior, those two things. And between those two behaviors, fan mail and balloons shows it, the flag is the solution, because the flag is the Golden Rule flag. On that flag, I don't know if we'll see a picture of it here, but on that big golden flag, there are 1,000 sentences. Each sentence is a different iteration of, or variation of, the Golden Rule. And in all of those variations, all of those formulations of the Golden Rule, in each of those 1,000 formulations, each of those sentences, you can find you and others, you and others. And so that's why the script that this set list is talking about. And that's why this script is all about, now why doesn't this go? I must have hit the wrong button earlier. There we go. So all of the effects on this list here generally talk about you and others. You and others and how they connect, how you and others connect. So I'm going to go in on this, zoom in on this all the way so you can actually see it. You could print it, but you don't need to. Each effect talks about you and others. The two words at the beginning are two words, you and others. And those two words, you and others, are on a card that opens up to show the golden rule. Then I do the rope routine, which is in the Golden Rule series, right here at goldenrulemagician.com. And then two words, and then treat others as you want to be treated is there. The butterflies, they fly together, and then they make a storm. The cards from the air, I pull out one card from the air, and I put it in a bag, a little tiny bag that later turns into a giant banner that says attention. Others represents the fan of cards which appear, and I throw them in the hat. Later, they become the card fountain after the banner. Then I do the wands and then the silk streamer can. Now, all of those effects on this set list are quite good to have in your repertoire, especially the last side, the second side of this set list, which is described there, fan mail balloons, flag, Bully and the Bears, that's a whole effect with water, silk tube, that's easy, rope escape, chair, and rings. You can do a whole show with just that second half there. So we've really covered a lot today in terms of the Golden Rule Magician set list. We touched on the water show. Before we go, though, maybe I should show you the water show being set up. Let's see if we can do that in this special Apple TV presentation of the water show getting set up. Here it is. I'm actually setting up the water show in this video here, and curious how to make that become full. So let's play that again, and I'll describe it as it's going. So that's at a college, and I'm setting up all of the water effects for the water show. Looks a little dark, but there's a table in the back. I've got my chair suspension. The chair suspension is there. The water effects, there's a cart with wheels and there's 3 suitcase tables, it looks like. Maybe 2 actually, and another holder. This was a particularly difficult presentation, I remember. It's 2017, March 29th. So there's that. And we'll look at a couple pictures of the Golden Rule show. That's the water show, actually. Here's the Golden Rule show, but of course we've covered this already
close footage,
in the Bully and the Bears, which you can see right here on. Let's see. Let's go back to this. You can see the Bully and the Bears right here on the Golden Rule Magician series. The whole effect is fully explained right here. And this woman here, let's see if we can hear her. What did you like about the show today?
I think it was just so fantastic that the kids had so much fun. And even though if they just got one little thing out of it, that they were nice to each other and kind, I think that would be fantastic.
You think they'll remember the golden rule?
I think they totally will, especially with the bears and the feeling nasty in that dark color. It was so visual for our kids, and they're such visual learners. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you next year.
Oh, good. Yay. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, that school was for autistic students. Here we have the chair suspension.
We need to find a balance between ourselves and each other. And wouldn't you agree that we all learn best when we're having fun? Would you also agree that we are having
This
fun?
is pretty fun.
That's what I thought. So keep that right there. Don't let her go. We have to find an amazing balance, Chloe. Find an amazing balance. I want you to have a seat on the chair. Lift your arms.
Wow.
This is the amazing
I'm
balance
actually
we have to
amazed.
find. Is this an amazing balance? I'm going to take this ladder right now. When I take the ladder, you move back 4 steps. 1, go. 2, 3.
Wow, look at that, you guys. This is such an amazing show. If you've ever wanted to earn your living as a professional magician, you are in the right place here at Golden Rule Magician, I'll tell you. I'd like to bring my camera number 1 here into full view. How does that happen? It must happen somehow. I'm looking at all the options and it doesn't really happen. You know what? It can happen like this. There we go. Oh, that's cool. That's funny. That's funny, funny. I'm going to undo that and do it this way. So here we are back at camera number 1. And I just want to say that thanks for checking this set list out. Remember, I showed you a whole bunch of set lists, a whole bunch of them, and a whole box full of them here. So keep your set lists. They're really important. Keep them in a box. Don't just put them in a file. Don't just put them in a file. Put them in a touch find it box so that you can find your set list. And we're going to conclude this session now just by finding the right macro to push, because the Golden Rule Magician series is ongoing and I like to add content to it every once in a while. And we're going to be adding a lot of content coming up that's not on this set list. It's all on the water set list, which we've gone over here. And that set list is basically coming up. The water show, which is called Environmental Magic. It's a combination of the magic of recycling, the magic of our water, and a couple other shows. But those two, Magic of Recycling, Magic of Our Water, has formed a new one called Environmental Magic. It dovetails very nicely with the Golden Rule Magician and this series. So we're going to be adding all of the content from that water show right here at the goldenrulemagician.com, the Golden Rule Magician series, documenting the magic show originally called Attention, Magic, and the Golden Rule. It's now called also just the Golden Rule Magician. The Golden Rule Magician Assembly, which has been funded since 2013 and continues to receive support from funders. It's a 501c3 public charity, and it's worked with the Golden Rule Project, another 501c3 public charity. So many other clients and schools have utilized it. And magicians can write grants and receive funding for this tour so that they can make a living as a professional magician in schools, presenting an idea that's time has come and it's really important. all people resonate with this idea, and it does work. Because of that, we're keeping it going. So thanks for watching here, and thanks for continuing to subscribe here at goldenrulемagician.com. We will see you in the next video.
This is the Golden Rule Magician series with professional magician, Steffan Soule. Please check our video playlist for the next or for related videos in this series and follow us at goldenrulемagician.com.